Our pick six has hit the midway point. Here is number 3, Kirk Cousins, who did not throw a pick six in the game. There weren't any touchdowns for the team that did beat them, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
So you went into your notebook. We've got a couple tweets here from the homies. I just want to get into your brain first because we're a little worried about Aaron Rodgers, old man, coming back from Achilles, not as mobile.
Right.
Similar theme for Kirk Cousins, yes or no?
Similar theme, it is. Now, Kirk Cousins has never been about movement or hopping around the pocket.
So it should be better
or
for
doing
him,
any
maybe.
of that. So I don't know if the adjustment's the same, but because of his back, it's his back leg, right? Again, Rodgers is his front leg. The back leg, having the injury there, is a totally different feel in what you're doing. And, of course, that's the leg you really got to drive off of to throw the football, more times than not. And that's where it's a little different than Rodgers, and we'll unpack that here in a minute.
So that caused his power to be less?
100%, right? So, one, we know the movement wasn't the same. The movement's never been great, like we talked about, but you could tell it's even more Statue of Liberty than ever before. There's zero movement. There's zero let me get out of the pocket. And I'd be lying to you to tell you that I think it affected some of his decisions? And he was like, oh, things are getting close to me and people are getting close to my legs. Let me just get it out. Absolutely. There's no doubt that affected him. There was a few throws in the game, and I know I wrote them in the notes where I went, hey, you just got to stand in there. This guy's about to be open. Or you got to be a little more aggressive with popping your legs. You're going to throw a touchdown, but you threw a bad ball, right? Because you're not throwing the proper way. We hit on this on the OTAs a little bit. Remember, there was some stuff that came out, and they showed Kirk Cousins throwing, and I know I talked about it with Florio, but he does not have pop or drive off his back leg, and therefore he's kind of trying to upper body, and he's even bending over to do it and almost fake following through with that back leg, but not nearly getting the drive that you would want as a starting quarterback. And you could see that in a guy that didn't have a very strong arm, it's taking miles per hour off the football, and it causes the accuracy to go down. Right? He missed a few throws because he's having to give it, what I always joke about, the old steroid jerk, and be like, and like, you should never have to do that throwing a football. Like, I sometimes hear my son do that, and I go, dude, it's not that much work to throw. You don't need to be going, like, if you're doing that, you're doing something wrong. Like, you're making muscles work that shouldn't be working to do it. Like, Patrick Mahomes is not throwing a 20-yard in-cut making that sound. He's just going, oh, boom, shoo, a laser, yes. And so that's where, and that's where it was a little concerning from that aspect. Yes, he had to move a few times, and I think I wrote he looked like Fred Flintstone. It took 45 steps on the car to get him going, and those are the things that concern me a little bit as we go forward.
So let's dissect a few things here. We have a screenshot on his stance here in Atlanta. So this is Luke Braun, NFL, that sent this in, or tweeted this out. Kirk in Mini was very comfortable with his stance. Now they have him rocking the "Mom, I threw up. I'm honestly mad." I don't get that reference necessarily. If you throw up, this is what you look like. I guess. He does look sad.
Yeah, it's funny.
Is this a problem? I'm unfamiliar with what's happening with the screenshot.
No. This is not a problem. So here's the thing. I saw this yesterday too a little bit, and I know people. This has nothing to do with his foot or his ankle or his Achilles, right? This has nothing to do with that. This has everything to do with what they're coaching him to do. Okay? They are going to be a shotgun. We're not going to forget about Bijan Robinson running the football, and we're going to run downhill even when we're in the shotgun, right? I like what they're doing here. Okay, so he's standing like this because the run game is going to be a real thing. If your legs are always cockeyed or with one leg behind, right? There's going to be certain runs and certain things where the back is located where it's going to be awkward when you get the shotgun snap and now you're like putting your legs back in another way. They're doing this to give you a no-tell, and we're going to have runs where, wait, why would I want my legs to be, right, like left leg back, right leg front, and all of a sudden now I'm going to have to turn to my right and go over there when I'm in the pistol or somebody's behind me, right? Or even if he's not behind me and now I'm in that position, if I get a bad stop, I'm not nearly as athletic, and my feet might be in the way for, I give him the ball, and now my right foot's out there and I might trip him and do stuff like that. So this is a very real coaching point by some teams and what they do. And I think it's more because they know they're going to run with Bijan Robinson. They know they're going to run downhill with them. and get in the pistol, and I like that aspect, but that's why he's in that position, certainly. I've gone through that a little bit, too, in my career, and I worked on that because we got into, like, shotgun running a little bit, and you start to realize, yeah, when your feet are cockeyed or already getting ready for the drop-back pass thing, there's certain run plays where you go, wait, my feet are all messed up, and I'm going to get in the way of the running back, or the timing and the rhythm of the run's not going to work quite the same way because now I'm catching the ball and I'm readjusting my feet to give the ball to somebody, or, like I said, getting in the way of the running back and maybe tripping him.
So I think the Twitter question from Craig Moskow is partly answered by that. He goes, what the hell are the Falcons going to do with this pistol stuff? What's the plan? You kind of laid out part of the plan
So
there.
the pistol, this is where I like the pistol.
Okay.
And then this is where we saw the Ravens do it a little bit on the first game. And this is where I'm a believer in the quarterback getting underneath the center to run the football. See, now they probably want to do that, but they know he's not going to be able to drive out from underneath the center a whole lot underneath, right? So they're going, let's just go in the pistol. That's easy for him. Then driving out, maybe our right guard stepping on his bad foot, and all of a sudden it tears his Achilles again or something like that, right? So I think that's probably part of it. The other thing is, if you're going to be a shotgun passing football team and do that, right, the run game is affected by the shotgun. If you're standing next to me all the time, right, and we're here and I'm catching the ball, and now I'm going to give you the ball, your first move is to always come horizontally, right? You don't get to attack the line of scrimmage downhill and make people commit to, oh, he's going downhill here, and now you can cut and go somewhere else, right? So you're in the pistol. Now Bijan Robinson's going, wait, I have a few extra yards to actually see things develop, right? Because I'm behind the guy instead of right next to him. And then right. So you get that. Other aspect of it is now he gets to do that, and he gets to attack downhill and see a linebacker maybe go and go, oh, no, he's running over there. And then he goes, oh, I don't want to go there. I'm going to cut where that linebacker just left his gap, right? He gets to see that, let alone now with that type of stuff. When you turn your back to the backside defensive end or maybe a backside weak linebacker who's on the line of scrimmage and he thinks you're handing it off, oh, we pulled it for play action pass, it's a totally different look than I'm in the shotgun and I faked it and put the ball out right in front of me for everybody to see. It does not have nearly the same effect. So I think that's probably part of the reason they're doing that. It is the reason. I know that.
And so, eventually perhaps he'll be under center with some of that when he can push off.
I would think so. I think this is why they're doing it.
To do it in the pistol as opposed to under center outside of just if your quarterback is not able to do it?
I think that, again, hey, if you're going to be a shotgun throwing team and you want to tie it together that way and do that, then, yeah, it's a good way to do it. But I think between the downhill, the ability now when you're like that downhill to see the cutback lane is a big thing too. Not only just because of you're attacking the hole like the linebacker I'm saying, but good quarterback coaches and offensive coordinators I was with too, where I don't want to be smothering you if you were behind me in the pistol and you were coming to my right side, right? I don't want to be like all right next to you, right? Because then you can't cut back because I'm cutting you off, and it actually blocks your vision. In the perfect world, you almost want to be extended to the absolute max with your arm, right? Now that gives him the ability, come downhill, he can move his feet and cut without your feet being all underneath him, and he can see the cutback lane because you're not so close to him, you're actually blocking that vision there, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and I've been with some really good coaches, and that's how like the Shanahans and the people of the world will teach that, because there is a real value in that aspect.
Caleb Beard tweeted at you and said, hated for you guys picking Steelers over my Falcons, but we saw how that went. LOL. What do you think the biggest factors were in our loss? I see people blaming Cousins, offensive line, offensive coordinator. It is week one. It is still early.
That's right.
We both saw that one play early in the second half. I was like, that was actually a pretty big, sneaky, hidden play when Kirk Cousins sent the guy in motion. The snap came, fumble. At that point, I think the Falcons had like a 75% chance to win that game.
They were winning at that point, what, like maybe 9-6 or 10-9 at that point?
Yeah,
is that what it was?
Early second half.
Right.
To get some momentum, go up maybe more than a score.
You were right about that. It was a big moment.
Yeah.
100%. And, again, I would go put that all into the category of they didn't play in the preseason, right? And that's the thing. I'm not concerned with their O-line. Their O-line actually did some good things. Again, it's the Steelers. Their front seven looks like it's pretty real. Well, and as I told you for the last month, they're going to be ready. I mean, Mike Tomlin, the one thing he does is he pushes the absolute limits of the NFL rules of tackling and hitting. He is going to take it up to the absolute limit. He's going to basically like make the NFL go, hey, you guys are hitting for like the 45th day in a row. We need to calm it down, right? I mean, so they're going to be there. And I think that showed in the football game. And yes, Kirk Cousins' rustiness showed as well. He missed throws and he was hasty with decisions because of his injury and lack of playing, right? And not feeling comfortable, let alone TJ Watt was coming around the edge a whole lot during the football game. But that's the big thing. Don't
win
panic
probability
yet.
doesn't take into account that TJ Watt was doing what he was doing in the game.
Exactly
too,
right. And I'm not. Hey, I picked the Falcons to Caleb Beard to win the NFC South, and I'm not like so concerned with what I saw there that I'm like, oh no, I have to change it. There's still a lot of good, and that's a tough team to play to start the year. Yeah. They've upset a lot of people to start a year because they're always ready to go.
Well, it doesn't get much easier. They go on the road against the Eagles, Monday Night Football.
Got to be better.
Where the Eagles are
Cousins' interceptions were horrible. Let me just say that too.
Yeah.
Like, not like, oh man, he got unlucky. They were bad. And a little bit like I talked about with the Rodgers interceptions, they were kind of panicky, right? Like, oh gosh, it's getting tight and I don't want people by my legs, just throw it, right? That's what it felt like. And those are things that they're going to mentally have to kind of break down in their own mind.
New for both of those quarterbacks, both those teams. We'll give them one more week.
And then we'll just totally
we'll bury them for sure.
Oh, and on your snap motion fumble, he brings them and then tries to stop them.
Yeah.
But that's too late, right? So that's always going to be on the quarterback. When stuff like that happens, people jumping off sides, people misaligned, illegal formation because two people are moving at the same time. Right, we know everybody's a professional out there, but there's a reason like that shit didn't happen under Tom Brady and Peyton Manning or Patrick Mahomes' watch right now, right? Because they're all over every detail. They're like, oh, this guy's going to go there, this guy's going to sit still. They know it all, right? And that's what when you're, new team, new offense, I haven't played much, I'm worried about my ankle, TJ Watt's coming around the edge. Those are the things that happen when you don't get that experience with your guys out there.
So two things we learned right there. The Atlanta Falcons, who we thought were idiots, actually geniuses for taking Michael Penix Jr. in the first round. And the Minnesota Vikings, we thought were idiots for not paying Kirk Cousins. Maybe they were geniuses too. Who knows? We will find out as the year goes on.
Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.